time is now. You can't see me, my time is now.
I love my job.
You can't see me, my time is now.
Time to cook. Hope you enjoyed that because that's the only introduction you're gonna get. Welcome, my niggas and sisters in Christ. We are about to walk through how my YouTube system last year generated $100,000 in 40 days from a micro personal brand. Not mine, but one of my clients. And we're not able to actually tell you who he is because of the fact that he did this with just over 1,000 subscribers and literally one Calendly link. I want to make it clear, right? So this was without running ads. There was no going viral. He still maintained, like you see these videos here, you know, he got like 5K views. That's not going viral. 4K views. That's not going viral. 3K views. He wasn't running ads. There was no landing page. This is very important. There was no VSL, guys. There was no school. It was literally just YouTube and maybe some IG story sequences here and there, but it was just YouTube, right? 90% of the time, there was zero video editing. There was only 2 videos that were edited, and I even remember who edited them, when they were edited, because there was nothing being done in regards to that. And there was also no blowjob face thumbnails, right? There was none of these. I'm not going to show anything on screen. There was none of the typical thumbnails that you see on YouTube, right? There was also no closer. The founder was taking the closing calls himself, and he was also setting the appointments himself, specifically just from IG and maybe some stuff that was happening on X. I don't think anybody who's making up these results is going to be able to break them down in the way it is that I've broken them down, right? I'm going to be able to walk you through the market research, the YouTube strategy, everything end to end, so that you're going to be able to just pretty much do this yourself. If you need more proof as to the fact that I'm not making shit up, here's like 15 other case studies where we've been able to make people cheddar. I gotta stop being goofy. Right, for example, Serge Guattari, one of the clients, 10 months working together. Nuga Nath got him to 6K subs in like a few months. Juan Valdez, right, almost $20,000 generated from literally just coaching calls. He literally says here, from the insights shared by Ethan and Serge, my content is reaching my ideal ICP. From that, he was able to get videos performing 55K views, 14K views. That and like 15 other people who we've been able to help do this within the first 30 days, right? Many people say that successful YouTubers find their significant breakthroughs between 2 to 3 years. These results here are literally people who just found them in the first weeks after having worked with us. You can see here 14K views, 44K views, 1K views, 9K views, 2K views. This person revamped his entire channel. He started getting booked calls. This person just hit 1K subs like barely 2 months into their thing, and they started making money. A bunch of great comments. This person started booking calls in the worst niche you can ever market to. This person here, same thing. This person here, same thing. This person made almost 20K, specifically not even just from having traffic coming from his YouTube videos, but leveraging it within his sales process. You know, this person here, 3x his numbers. He was at 18K subs. Now he's almost at 50K subs. He's making a bunch of money, and a lot of the stuff it is that I sell now is actually benefited because of the time period and the expertise it is that I managed to get when I was working with Serge Guattari. Right here is when the spike happened, and then this is also literally the time period in which we worked together. Now, let me go onto his live YouTube studio. I'm going to blur everything that showcases who this person is, but I'm going to try and go through as much results as possible to showcase that I'm not BSing, right? As you can tell, we work with many different people. So something I want to make very clear. All right, this is me after I've recorded this video. I'm coming back in because I want to share something after I've recorded. I've spent like 2 hours now recording this video. This training is going to be very impactful. I want you to spend your time going through it. I want you to watch it more than once. I pretty much go through an entire process of breaking down how you build the system. I build this production system for you inside of ClickUp. It's very simple. I break exactly down how the funnel needs to be structured, how you're able to leverage top of funnel, direct response VSLs, having a main asset on YouTube that gets sent to. Everything is here on the funnel side of things, not just showcasing, hey, I have a client who had a very simple funnel. And I also showcase how these funnels that we leveraged a year ago are also still being used now by some of the best, or like decent average people who are doing good in the game, right? Nick Setting, Alexi, right? Muhi is a friend of mine, etc. I also go through the exact sales script. I go through the exact story sequences. I go through the exact DM script, the exact appointment setting and closing method. I go through end to end what we did on YouTube strategy, how we abused trends, insecurities, drove traffic and nurtured leads incredibly quickly. I broke down how you need to produce your videos, how you need to write sales assets, how you need to package your videos, titles and thumbnails so that you can go viral and have the right types of people clicking on them, how you can ideate stuff that's going to be able to guarantee that you generate $30,000 off a single video, just like we did on this one video here for this client. Okay, I just want to make it very important because everything I'm teaching you to do is exactly what I'm doing in this video, what I'm doing with this video, what I'm doing with where the traffic of this video, where you're going to click after you watch this video. All right, and then I go through the most important thing, which is where 80% of success comes from. So what I want to make clear is that this video is not going to start off by teaching you how to build your ClickUp, or by teaching you how the funnel works, or by teaching you some basic stuff on appointment and closing. It's going to start off from what actually gets you the biggest amount of results, because I like giving you value and giving you an impact, because I know that if you apply this, you're going to make money. This is literally where 80% of the success comes from. And if you're doing a personal brand and you want to make money from it, This is where your big brain as a CEO and all the data it is that you have inside of here that you just haven't been able to access yet, that's where that power needs to be spent. This is where you have an intentional, strategic, manipulative, refreshing, trust, honor, loyalty building, research-based positioning and strategy. How to abuse the market. I show you exact examples as to how other people are doing this right now extremely successfully. I show you exactly how we did it with this client. I show you exactly how we're able to turn everything it is that we had with the client against us. How we're able to abuse trends in the market. I show you some of the best trends that you can abuse in the market. All right. We go over every single thing it is that you're going to be able to go through. I'm going to give you specifically what you need to go ahead and execute on, right? Deep dive into your market. I show you step by step what it is that you need to do in order for you to position yourself successfully, in order for you to use yourself to your advantage, right? How you're going to be able to understand the playing field, position yourself to solve the gap, amplify your strengths, dial in every creative of yours to make sure that you always attract traffic. Ideation. Everything here, I don't know a single person who discusses content creation who does this, right? We have people like Iman Ghazi right now telling you to create YouTube videos, which is cute. It's, practice what you preach. It's good. It's true. But like, there's none of this. There's nothing at this level. We have people out there who are telling you that you need, of course, to be creating content. They're telling you this on Instagram Reels. But nobody's showing you what needs to be done and how it needs to be done, when you need to do it, who needs to do it, why you need to do it, what. They're just telling you that you need to do it. So please take your time, put this on 2x speed, get some popcorn, because you're about to get a lot of value. This will force you to take more action. So this person revived his dead channel, went viral, and made money from just taking action on stuff we spoke about, right? So from literally just around 2 to 3 group coaching calls, we made a thumbnail on one of these calls. We created the strategy. And from that, he literally had this video popping off and him sending this message in and like shouting out Serge and Ethan, saying that our insights were able to help him book this amount of money. And him literally just changing this on one call had him going viral and making money. So this is what I want to say is that this person never paid me money directly. This person literally just followed my advice and the same kind of advice, if not nowhere near the same kind of advice that you're going to be getting in this video. In this video, you're going to be getting like, bro, look at this, man. You're going to be getting everything. Step 1, step 2, market research, how to do everything. Without any further ado, okay, please just take action. All right. My strategy here is that I want to be the best and I want to give the most, because if the stuff it is I help you for free just gets you a lot more success and a lot more value, then of course you're going to be much more indebted to actually listen to anything it is that I have to say and feel as though I am actually much more valuable than some yapper on the internet who you've never even heard of. So step 1, my friend, let's jump right into it. Here's where 80% of the success is actually going to be able to come from, right? This was how we did intentionally strategic, manipulative, refreshing, trust, honor, loyalty building, research-based positioning and strategy. Let's make this red as well, because it's these two things here. It's the positioning and the strategy behind how we position this thing in order for it to be able to succeed. So here's the walkthrough, right? Positioning this individual, the way we did it with the client, was to position him as a sole figure of truth and transparency throughout their entire niche. What do I mean by this? Well, I'm glad you asked, right? In other words, this means you abuse the market. So the way you do this is you need to understand the playing field, position yourself to solve the gap, amplify your strengths and delete your weaknesses, or use them to your advantage. And dial in on all of your creators by now adding a unique new solution. By everything it is that you're going to create after this point now needs to be dialed in. Okay, so let me break down what this actually even looks like. And what we did here. So first things first is you need to be able to understand the playing field. So understand your platform on YouTube, understand what your viewers' thumbnails look, what your competitors' thumbnails look like, understand how other people are presenting themselves in the niche, understand where you need to be positioned in order for you to benefit based off of what customers or like your prospects have already experienced with your competitors and based off of what those competitors are messaging out into the market. So in other words, when the market was currently going in one direction, we chose to go in the other direction. Meaning our competitors, or rather my client's competitors, they were solely selling the dream outcome of a model, right? So it was a new opportunity and it was a booming market, meaning that his competitors were generating a lot of traffic. They were continuously hitting top of funnel. So they had like, you see this was literally kind of where the entire market and the competition was going. I can't tell you the niche, but you can almost assume it was almost just like a SMMA type of niche, right? It was a massive brand new opportunity, okay? They were making people aware of their new opportunity, but they're not teaching people how to actually solve those things. So it was overpolished, overproduced, etc. It was like Iman Ghazi type of thing. And every competitor had a horrible product. So you can already see there's a massive demand here and such little supply, because nobody was talking about the results of clients it is they've actually worked with. And nobody was giving any value in their YouTube videos or their marketing. So what we did was you go the other way. We marketed to people who were already aware of this trend and this opportunity. So what do I mean by this is like, instead of us saying, hey, instead of like, for example, let's say if we're doing this with content, Instead of me coming to you and saying, hey, you need to make content about this. You need to be able to make content. You're not going to be able to sign deals without making content. You're not going to be able to make money without you making content, blah, 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 blah. I am out here telling you that with content alone, you're not going to be able to find any success. I'm here telling you this is how you actually make videos that find success. This is how you can write a sales asset that generates $10,000 every time you post a sales asset on YouTube. This is how you write. I'm teaching the how, and I'm not telling them about the what. So we intentionally would give them value in the videos. We intentionally would leverage different results it is that we had, aka this would then help us because we would showcase product, right? And then we'd give them value, okay? And then, which is, in other words, why did I write that twice? This is pretty much nurturing. And then here is almost like trust building, right? So it's like solving the gap and showing that we could have the solution for the gap. What ended up happening here? I'm going to show you what ended up happening here, right? Because this was in a massive, massive, massive uptrend, right? So another thing was this trend was in a massive up climb. If you ever want to be able to make this kind of money, $100,000 in 30 days, let's put that up here. No, in 40 days, you need to be able to have yourself in a situation where there's a large degree of demand and very little supply. It seems so basic, but for some reason you're likely not even like taking action on the fact that that's something that's very simple and something that's very simplistic and very easy to execute that you can go ahead and jump in on, right? So for example, let's lay out what is the massive trends it is you can easily jump on right now. We've got AI, right? I'm jumping on an AI. We've got content. I've been on content for 2 years. Then we've got infopreneurs, right? This client had an info product, and I specifically target people who have info products. Then we have creators, right? Also similar to content and infopreneurs. Then we've got other stuff like market getting more sophisticated. What does this mean? It means people who are in the SMMA niche or B2B companies are struggling. And I have a food order that is on the way. Let me answer this. Thank you very much. Let me pause this real quick. All right, food is here, but you get the point, right? So here's a perfect example as to what this looks like. Here's an example as to where the entire market goes, right? Everybody wants highly, highly overproduced titles, thumbnails, personal brand, aesthetic, lifestyle, all of this. And then here's somebody else who pops up out of nowhere and starts going viral because he's doing the complete opposite and filling the gap as to what people actually need. The way we did this is now we had to understand the resources that we have available, right? So we had to go, I pretty much had to go through all of the paid material and course to gain insights as to how we can present ourselves as different from all of the different competitors. That's the first thing, because I was also the person who was writing the assets of these YouTube videos that generated money, right? I had to look at the founder. Where is the founder from? What is his backstory? What's his personality? Can he talk on camera? Does he have case studies? What results do we have? Identify what created previous success. So a big mistake that many different people make on content is that they don't replicate success. A lot of the times it's very easy for you to be able to find success with anything it is that you're doing because there's other people who have found success in other fields. And if you also have found success in your own field, I'd like you to look back at your own YouTube videos, your own sales calls that have been successful, your own angles, your own positioning, your own lead magnets, and let the data lead the way. So working with this client taught me and the team, like, hard work does not equal like success. If you want to succeed again and again and again, just follow his footsteps as to how it is that you can succeed. And then last thing was, okay, how often could he record? Are we able to use multiple platforms? Are we able to use IG? Are we able to use X, etc.? So from this is part of building a foundation, okay? Now you understand the playing field. Now you understand who you are and how you're going to be able to solve the gap. You're able to understand what your weaknesses are, remove them or keep them. So an example as to how we actually presented this client now is mainly due to the fact that this client was the complete opposite as to who all of the competitors were. He more or less could talk on camera, but let's say if we were to compare this client to Iman Gadzhi, he would be the complete opposite. His life was not optimized. He was not able to focus a lot of the time. He was not exactly in the best shape of his life. He didn't exactly wake up on time in the morning. He would sleep in. And he was literally the exact kind of person that his prospects were. However, he had the money and he had the idea of success that other people wanted without having to be like anybody else was. So the way we positioned him was as an anti-guru. We positioned him as somebody who's just a regular ass nigga who can teach you how to find success because he found it without having to do all this mindset stuff, without having to jump in all these programs. He found it by simply just doing what works. So we found the hype as to what was being built, I have to blur these because it's even in a big enough niche that you'll be able to see, right? They either lacked their own experience, did not have a good enough product, and focused on marketing, or did not know how to actually get results. This is what all of the competitors were doing. Now, from here on is where we created the unique angle based on the data we got from the research. So we positioned him perfectly according to what everybody else was doing, being complete opposite to every competitor, because everyone else was talking about how good their model was, but their offer gave zero actionable advice, their videos gave zero actionable advice, and their program was horrible, and it was much more lower ticket. So this person, who the client we worked with, was higher ticket offer. It was for people who had, majority of people who paid for this higher ticket offer had actually already paid for the competitor's solutions. So this meant there was very high demand for value and implementation from people who were hungry and qualified. So how do you do this yourself? Well, in the most simplest way, you do a deep dive into your market, okay? You look at your competitors. You find out your existing audience, right? This is a 5-step sequence that you can find, right? So you pretty much going to find who the majority of your audience is. Let's say if you post a story sequence, so you can actually even post a story sequence of this, right? By finding the majority of what your audience is. You post a story sequence, or you post a post on YouTube Studio, like a community post, saying, okay, guys, are the majority of you guys agency owners? Are the majority of you guys growth partners? Or are the majority of you guys somebody who's in like e-commerce? Then you're going to find out the majority of your people are agency owners. Cool. What is it you want to get to? Next thing is, when do you want to solve that? Okay. And then what have you tried to solve that with? All right. You can even go beyond and say, how is it that you like to solve that? When is that you like to solve that? Slash best way you'd want it solved. How have you tried to solve that before? All right. So this is now finding out what your competitors have done. And now it's like, what's the worst experience? So now, if you do this, you're going to literally find exactly who your ICP is, exactly what kind of solution they want, their exact problems, their exact desires, right? You want to think of it as like a restaurant. You never walk into a restaurant and you have some douchebag there saying, hey, this is our once of a lifetime offer that you're going to be able to get, and you can only have this one meal. Either take it now, or we're going to be able to guarantee, either take it now because we're going to be able to guarantee that you're going to have an amazing lunch eating this meal for the next 2 hours. And if you don't have to pay for the meal. That's weird. They don't do that. They give you a menu because it's simplistic, and you give people what they want, in other words. So you then want to be able to identify trends. You then want to be able to identify the gap. All right. Now, what you do after this point in time is you move on to, let's just put A tier positioning. Make whatever it is that you're selling no brainer. Make yourself an outlier. So position yourself as different than what everybody else is doing, plus combined with your strengths. Right, and then pretty much lay out everything that you do, can do, that you like in your story, in your fulfillment, in your case studies, and find whatever stands out the most out of all of these. Maybe you're from a third world country like me. Maybe you have really big case studies like me. Maybe you like anime, and so therefore you can start putting anime in your documents that you walk through. Combine all of these to what's going to be able to be a combination of who you are and what's going to be able to make you succeed. So this is why I say that a lot of the success comes from this. It comes from, this is marketing, this is sales, this is positioning. This is where you have to think as to how you're going to be able to present yourself, how you're going to be. And listen, let me give you a shortcut. Let me show you what the majority of the time it's going to end up actually being. This is what you're going to end up actually even having as an objective. Look at this. You're going to have it either be that you need trust, okay, which can be solved by you posting case studies, and then like process walkthroughs. And then the next thing is traffic. If you just have this, you will win. So what did you do with traffic? Well, you get a strategist who can come up with video ideas that get traffic. But in other words, you use viral formats, right? By utilizing tools like 1 of 10. This is basic stuff to get you started. Not vidIQ. So here's some examples as to how you find viral formats not with vidIQ. vidIQ is good because you're able to search keywords and see specific gaps that are in the market, but you don't necessarily want to package your videos around the gap that's in the market, or because of the fact you want people to search up a specific keyword that not many people are finding. So like, let's say if I'm searching content as a keyword on vidIQ, vidIQ is going to give me other keywords related to content that aren't really being searched a lot. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to then come up with a topic that's kind of similar to that, or that solves that gap and bridges that gap. And then of course I'll include the keywords, but I'm not going to do that because I want people to come and find my tutorial over time, and therefore views will trickle down into my process, or views will trickle down into my sales system. Anyways, Like I said, here's an annoying CTA. Click the link in the description if you want to actually see this free training that's going to be able to show you much better in-depth insights as to 9 different constraints that you're currently facing on everything it is that you're doing, from the base foundation of everything you're doing on marketing, to everything you're doing on sales, to everything you're doing as a founder when you're leading your company, on your marketing and your sales and your content. Next thing was YouTube strategy. This meant abusing trends, insecurities, driving traffic, and nurturing those leads extremely fast. What I meant by this is, on a weekly basis, we would have on a week, a week wouldn't go by in which, let's say, we wouldn't make at least 10K in like the peak of this when we had first launched in the first like 30 days. So I've got how you're going to be able to do this laid out right for you here underneath ideation. So we're going to start off with ideation. Here's what we did. The best way you can think about it is just have your objective. Then you have what you're going to classify each video as. And then from there on, you just want to take an idea for a sales asset or a lead magnet. Pretty much, what is something that somebody can consume to make it obvious that my thing is better, my thing is unique, my thing has proof, my thing makes them trust me, and my thing has value. And my thing makes them aware of a specific problem that they're not aware about yet or already. Or maybe it's for people who are already aware about my problem and I just need to teach them about my unique solution. From there on, you just package that as viral as you can possibly package it, not the other way around. So from there on, let's say you have a video that's like, okay, it's meant to solve this problem, this problem, this problem, and we can present it as this unique thing. Then your title and your thumbnail needs to be presented as best as it possibly can. And therefore, inside of your video, the theme of the video, style, recording, whatever, it must be focused on opposing the competition and treated it as a training. This is what we did. So we literally had topics. Like, let's say this person had a bunch of case studies. We had like the top 4 best case studies ready to go. Because what did we need? Our objective was to build trust, to give value, and to generate traffic. This was the winning formula that made them $30,000 from one YouTube video. Anyways, let's do this. So now, step 1 was we gave transparent solutions to problems no competitors solve. Then number 2 was we found the founder being himself, being goofy, sometimes even being embarrassing, stuff he wouldn't want us to post, we would end up posting, built insane amount of trust from him and his entire audience, right? Each asset that was posted as a YouTube video generated at least $5,000 to $10,000 from this. And the comments as to what people were saying was extremely, he was then associated as being extremely relatable and extremely trustworthy. Comments like, bro killed it, love this one, full transparency, real talk, appreciate the vid, love the authenticity, big reality check, looking forward to your content, love the transparency, we actually appreciate you so much for being authentic, right? That helps a lot. Which platform do you use for your communities? Anyways, people loved it. And that's how you know that if you don't get comments like this, you need more work to put on. If I don't see comments like this in my video and I just see, yo, this guy's a douchebag, he's just talking too much, then I'm sorry, I'm going to work on things, okay? But I'm not going to like hide away from the data it is that we have. So remember, from this, we had case studies being the main thing. So their clients became their biggest acquisition pool, all right? The only reason this works was because of the unique angle. Positioning is everything, guys. Please, I can't hold your hand as much as I can here. From there on, remember, they made $30,000 off of one single YouTube video before they worked with us. So we went and we looked at everything that video specifically had, its packaging, its arguments, its presentation, and its wow factor. And we implemented all of that into making sure each single video followed that. So what would that happen? What was it that made that one video generate $30,000? The main thing was wow factor. People could not ignore that they had never seen something like this on the internet. I can't tell you what that wow factor was, but just think back as to somebody who you've come across and you're like, wow, this person is good. Or wow, this person is not just maybe not the next best thing, but this person deserves me to subscribe. Something like that. The bare minimum, if you can just make people feel impulsively, they're going to subscribe to you, whether that be from a stupid intro that you're testing out, or whether that be from however other way you want to present yourself, do that. The next thing was value, sales, asset, focused. Okay? This was big. Very, very big. All right? Wow factor also came from unique style. Recording was raw, unedited, and entertaining. You could just keep watching. Very big. And then value and sales asset focused. What else was it? Meaning nurtured fast, different viewing experience. And of course, the person who was recording, what is it? Personal brand owner, built trust fast. You liked the guy from watching his YouTube videos. This will make you money. So like, look at my video, right? I had a silly introduction. I'm giving you exactly that. And I'm hopefully building trust fast. But for me, my objective when I'm marketing, I'm going to actually show you what my strategy is for marketing on YouTube, this channel for the next 60 days at the bare minimum, is specifically two things. It's just build trust, generate traffic. All right. We even had another video, which is a full course. It generated 30%. It generated almost $30,000 of the 100,000 we generated. This video now has like probably close to around 20K views. But look at all of this. All of these individual videos. Imagine you have each individual video that performs like this, gets 4,000 views, but not just 4,000 views. It's actual traffic. It's actual leads. It's actual success coming from that YouTube video. That's amazing, right? So, the videos were planned in a way that resulted in so much trust from the audience that the closing rate was over 55%. 55% was the bare minimum. That meant that like if you get 5 calls, you just know that you're going to be able to make more than 10K in that day. All right, so here's how you do this. Here's how you create this winning strategy based on everything I've gone through. Now let me go through my strategy so I can give you more sauce. How do I click on this link, bro? Please open. So the way you're going to be able to create the winning strategy is to just keep it simple, please. I've gone through processes where I would have crazy looking mirror boards, everything that just was unnecessary and made it look so visual. All you really need is a Google Doc that has your objectives based strategy. So what do you need, right? What do the prospects need? What needs to happen in order for people to buy from you? This should come off the top of your head and it should take no longer than 30 seconds, right? The deeper and more like practical you go, the better. So for me, here's an example. What do we need the most? We need trust. In other words, we need people to know who we are, what we have done, and what we do. Then we need people to become aware of this unique solution. So people need to know why they do is flawed, the root cause of their problems, and external issues with external teams. The problem behind, they need to be so fed up and pushed over the edge with urgency and won over by me with the trust. And that's it. So therefore, we have two content types. We have a case study breakdown, and then we have the ability to solve the entire gap. Almost like a webinar formatted. The same way this video is going to be insanely long, that's what I need. I need people to become, like these are other ideas that I then went ahead and listed out, for example. And then case studies, talking about the Surge Guitar client we worked with, talking about the NDA client we worked with, talking about this other client, this other client, this other client. That is how you get a very easy winning strategy. So here's what we did on the packaging side. So your packaging can be ugly. It's not supposed to look pretty fancy. It's not supposed to like look like anything. So here's a people in two completely different niches than our client. The one on the left here is Charlie Morgan. You can see that this was an early trend of these raw formats. I can tell you that we did utilize raw similar formats with this client, right? However, the trend died off in 3 months later and people till this day still try and use it. Even this brand, I looked at him the other day and I saw that he was also finding success with this, right? He was using the growth operating niche. He was talking about this, X, Y, Z. And the entire packaging strategy was also based on doubling down on what worked, meaning that they had videos that were similarly packaged to this that found success. Following that trend above, that video that made $30,000 was packaged in this manner. And we were able to do this because not only like did the market research, but we also kept ourselves in a tight loop with what was working on YouTube at that exact moment. So you need to know what things are working on YouTube right now. You need to always kind of just be refreshing YouTube on a daily basis to see accounts that have small subscribers, videos that were posted extremely recently, and videos that are performing above average. Doesn't have to be viral, but above average. Let's say a person has 1K subs and they made a video yesterday and you saw it hit like 600 views in the first 2 hours. If you're on YouTube long enough, you're going to get recommended those channels. YouTube actually started recommending a lot more smaller channels. Or let's say the channel has 1K subs and it was posted 2 days ago, but you see the thing is at 15K views. If you see something like that, even the packaging and the title will stand out to you, and you should become aware as to whether you feel like you're being pulled to click on that video or not. That's a sign that that video is an outlier. That's a sign that that video, maybe not an outlier, but that video is something that is special and is standing out and can be leveraged to your advantage, whether you copy a similar title or you copy the similar presentation or you iterate on the similar topic. So the first 5 people that hop on a trend reap its benefits, and the last 5 people get called cringe. So you need to do it at the exact time. And this is only possible if you are on YouTube consistently. These are packaging formats that my strategist literally has all over in his documents, in his mirror boards, etc. Researching, for him to be able to research the audience, research the competitors, view different topics of ideation, him having a full thing where he has specifically videos that have performed above average in several different niches. You have business niche, you have all of these different things to use as formats. All right. So in other words, you just need data from your competitors. You need data on what works as packaging, and you need data on winning thumbnails and styles and data. Now, the most important thing is this is not what you have to do throughout your entire experience whenever you're creating content. You only have to do this until one thing pops off. And then once that little thing pops off, you want to emulate that and replicate that every single time until it doesn't work anymore. Imagine if after Charlie Morgan made one of these first videos, how to focus for 12 hours a day, like a millionaire, he got 300K views. Imagine, right? If he went back to the old, horrible, disgusting thumbnails he used to make, stuff like this, trying to copy Iman. Of course, the video wouldn't perform, and of course, his entire strategy would fall through the roof. That's what you want to avoid with this, okay? From there on, we jump onto production. Production, the most important thing about your production, bro, is you need to keep it like this. Let's do this, okay? Your production needs to be easy to execute. All right? It also needs to be data-backed, and you or your editor needs to be able to consume your video as a viewer. In other words, if you get bored, make a change ASAP, meaning cut out that section, meaning don't have your writing be the way your writing is. Another thing is, it also needs to be simple and clear. This is a big mistake I make so many times, bro. Like, I have this big ass document, but I really think I could have just said it to you in a simple talking head video. But that's a discussion for another time. It just needs to be simple and clear. It needs to be easy to understand, and it needs to logically make sense. So if your thing is easy to execute, if your way it is that you're coming up with your style or your editing or your videos is data backed, and in other words, if you're able to just watch without feeling bored for 1 second, right? Pretend, this is a nice exercise to do. Pretend you are the viewer on YouTube and you click on your thumbnail and you go ahead and you watch the first 3 minutes of the video. Pretend, like, feel what you feel and be so brutal with yourself, because this is going to save you so many failed videos, and you're going to come out with videos that people are going to be like, whoa, this feels good. This feels nice to watch. And that feeling is so refreshing for your viewers and your audience, especially in the online business space. So what we did, using the data, we leveraged the same trend that allowed us to minimize the cost of production while keeping the in-video experience engaging. What does that mean? It means that for 90% of the videos, there was zero editing required. 90% of the videos rarely needed even a thumbnail, like a proper professional thumbnail shot. It just needed a screenshot of the video. If we had proper thumbnail shots, that would have also made it better. But majority of the time, we just had to use screenshots. So this style went against the competitors, very important. It nailed on the objective of our strategy, very important. It allowed our client to become more of himself and give the viewers value. What does him being more of himself do? What does you being more of yourself do, friend? Create a sense of authenticity and transparency. What does this mean? It means trust. If I mess up and if I'm goofy in a video, that means I'm human. That means I'm being vulnerable and I'm showing a side that I would not want you to show. Therefore, I'm somebody who is worth, that's how you pay for trust. Okay, if I open up to you right now and I say, yo man, I'm really not that confident in this new offer. I know it's finding success, but I genuinely feel doubts about the direction I'm going to head in business. I genuinely feel doubts about the things I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, but I'm going to just keep on moving, right? Let's say if I'm opening up to you about that right now, I've told you something that puts me in a lower position. And now you feel indebted and feel as though I have let my guard down to open this with you. And of course, yeah, maybe you can take pity on me and maybe you can be like, oh man, I resonate with that. That used to be where I was. Or that, yeah, I feel like that right now. But this interaction, this example I just gave you of me, that's a lie, by the way. I mean, maybe sometimes I feel we all have doubts, etc. But that's just a random example of, like, if I was to open up and share that I'm feeling doubts about my business, I'm feeling doubts about, yeah, I'm making money and we're growing and there's all of this other stuff we're executing, but I don't know if it's, worthwhile. I don't know if it's the direction I want to head into, etc. Notice how it's completely changed than me saying, this is the DM script you need to use in your outbound videos for you to be able to make a bunch more money, right? So there's different types of trust you can actually be able to get. As long as the trust, the you being vulnerable and opening up to them, does not make you look as though you're unqualified to solve their problem. You don't want to look like an amateur, okay? Very important. So what does this mean? It means that whatever you do what's required. Understand the simplicity scales, okay? 80% of the time, you're not going to need to edit your videos. Work typically takes way less time than you think it does. For example, this whole video maybe took me like 2 hours to make. Why? Because I leveraged labor. I got my strategist to make the majority of this document. Then I spent like 2 hours fine-tuning it, making it look pretty, adding all of this stuff, blah, 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 And then now I'm here, I'm shooting. That's also going to take maybe 1 to 2 hours. a day, that's a video. Why can't I just now post a video every single day like this? It's easy to produce, right? So that's the main thing, is that you need it to be easy to execute. So the work typically takes way less than you think. If you disagree, then you're now going to decide to choose that the belief of this not being true, the belief of this, what I've laid out now, is inaccurate and not true, is literally going to just make you more likely to fail. So you're better off believing something that might not be 100% true in order for it to influence your actions and therefore make it come true using a feedback loop. So you also want to use logic and be intentional, right? So like, is somebody really going to watch all of this unless I have, like, this is not how I want to have my video start. I don't necessarily want it to be like this. If I had it my way, I'd actually just want to start going through the videos, going through step 1, step 2, step 3. I'd rather just start the video by giving you value. But because of the way that I know, logically, this looks prettier. This looks cleaner. This, you need to see the things that makes this case study unique. You need to see the things, I even called it my YouTube system. It's not my YouTube system. It's his YouTube system. And it's my clients, and it's my team and I who helped him with the strategy, who helped him come up with the video ideas, who helped him with the title, the thumbnail. But I have to call it my YouTube system so it can get your attention, so that you can feel more connected with me. One-to-one has more trust and more. So I'm just using logic, right? Base foundational principles that will just work over and over again all of the time. So from here, you now have your sales asset. Technically, sales asset section comes before your production, right? But it's part of your production anyways. So this is now how you be able to write sales assets and documents. So how did I do this? Dude, I can tell you the whole story of when I was working with this client, man. I had to learn how to write really good copy. You don't really need to do this anymore, but at the very least, you need to understand how to be a copy thinker. What does that mean? This is some OG course I went through like 2 years ago. The word stuck with me. But what does this mean? What do I mean by copy thinker? I mean, you're able to position specific terms, specific subjects and associations with your business with certain, to be able to solve certain like gaps and limited supply within your market. So you just need to really position your thing as something that's going to be a lot better. That's what I did with my offer. My offer doesn't do anything done for you except in this first period where maybe they need something that's done for you, like ideas, titles, and thumbnails, and sales assets, right? But the rest of that is something that they just get to have instead of having to pay another person again and again and again. Like imagine you buy a football in your house and then every like day or every month you have to pay $20 or $50 for the football for it to stay in your house. That doesn't make sense, right? That's what the equivalent of just buying the football, and then maybe you have to pay once a month for you to be able to refill the football. That's a downsell. Anyways, this is too deep. Just learn how to position your thing well, but I had to learn how to write really good copy. So I had to learn how to write really good sales assets. Of course, yeah, I grew my account to 6K followers organically in like 3 months on X. However, I had also even paid for script writing. So I know pretty much this is an example that I know how to like decent copy, right? I had to pay for script writing. I had to pay for copy mentors. I'm not even the best script writer, but I'm not even the best writer in any way, shape, or form. I'm just decent at thinking and decent at positioning things. And so never was I ever confident enough to be able to pull this off. But until the things that I would ideate, I would write, my client would then record, and I'd be sitting next to him in a car. This is a true story. When he closed a $4,000 deal from one of the sales assets. This actually happened before. I've been with people and they've just made money from stuff it is I've written with them in person. So let me even close. So this behind here is an image of this person in the car, but we're not going to show that because that might risk showing you who he is, right? But pretty much I had to go through their entire multiple 4-figure program and get as good as they were at what they were doing, right? So that I know how to position it. I would then know how to give people value, right? So people who would watch these videos be like, yo, there's so much value in here. This is so good. I had to present it in a way that's not just giving away the actual free resources, etc. Sometimes I ended up pulling, there's a time I pulled all-nighters for almost 2 weeks, and I had to make it sell, but also give value and do it precisely how the client wanted it to do, wanted it to perform, and also how the client used to write it. So the reason why is because we charged a $5,000 a month retainer to do this. We don't do this anymore, but it was $5,000 a month to just do everything for these people so that all they have to do is just record. So that meant we had to take care of the assets too. So, you know, that's stuff like the documents, right? The stuff like similar documents like the ones I've written here. How do you do this yourself, bro? How do you write sales assets? Okay. Once you got your foundation of your positioning and the base idea as to how the thing is needed to be made on point, the rest of it really comes easy. You just need to bring those aspects to life in a most simple and clear format. So really, the best way that this can actually be presented to you is with step 0, which is understanding that your base idea, in other words, sales argument or case study, mainly it's case study. If you have case studies, you just start off your videos with that and then you teach people how to do the thing it is that you're doing. That helps a lot. right? Because it builds trust, it builds authority, it builds results, and you're also giving value and you're showcasing that your process is better. But after your first couple of clients, you're probably going to run out of case studies that are really big and impactful. Then you're going to jump into your different sales arguments, topics, insights, and things it is that you're seeing. Once that this is locked in, and from there on, you've got your positioning locked in, then you just need to bring this thing to life. Everything else in your asset will come clear. So what that means, it needs to be simple and clear. It needs to logically make sense. So it just needs to be like, okay, cool. Here's how we made this person a lot of money. And then all you do is you just teach them about one small aspect about how you made them money. Okay. It needs to just logically make sense. All right. It also needs to always be engaging. If you're doing kinds of document walkthroughs, bro, it can't just be, it needs to have graphics. It needs to have like, why is this thing zooming in when I'm zooming out? It needs to just have people watch, and you'll get better at this over time. But some tips of this is use images, use visuals, use your own camera, and use the document you're going through. Move around a lot of the time. Watch Nick's setting and copy how he talks. That'll help you. And watch your looms and your videos back once they've been edited or before they've been edited. And make sure you have fun in the process. This will effortlessly make work just feel like effortless. Okay? When I was working with these clients, I did not have fun at all. So it made the process so difficult. But when I'm writing my own documents, I'm putting what's in here on a piece of paper and I'm presenting it in different ways. I'm putting blocks like Lucidchart, and these kind of document walkthroughs are really fun for me, at least, because it's just like, yo, I'm just creating. Like this is just fun for me. I'm just putting blocks here, here, here. I want something to look enticing. I want to look visual. I want to use red. I want to use underline, bold. That's marketing. That's that's creators, right? It's presenting something in a specific manner. However, my friend, just watch a free training teaching you how to build a $1.8 million a year automated system with AI. This is a made up number, but this is pretty much what you're going to be able to achieve based upon what similar clients of us we've worked with have been able to achieve with just utilizing the YouTube. Okay, so you're going to see how you can just do this with your entire content marketing and some AI and some sales developments in the process, right? How you're going to be able to revamp your content marketing, sales, and with some AI in your process. So watch that entire masterclass in the description. You're just going to cut through it, having to do all of this stuff I've gone through yourself. But let's jump on to the last step, which is your conversions. Let me show you the appointment setting and closing process and bonus sauce on IG story sequences, right? So very important. We did not do the appointment setting. We did not do the closing. We did not do the IG story sequences. But we monitored everything it was that was being done. And now with the clients it is that we work with, we end up doing this entire thing. So building off the relationship and uniqueness established in the YouTube videos, it was a seamless transition that maintained the same relationship to go from YouTube video all the way to the sales calls. So why was it any of our business to know what was happening on sales calls? Because, my friend, for 2 years, I ran an agency, which was this agency when I worked with this client, that we would never get paid if the person didn't make money. So we had to be involved in the appointment setting and we had to be involved in the closing. What I mean by we didn't do the appointment setting is I didn't go in there and send DMs, nor did I place an appointment setter and send DMs. I didn't jump on the sales call, nor did I place a closer. But I would have calls with the founder twice a week to actually go through the numbers we were getting on content, on setting, and on closing, and whether the current messaging we were doing was working or wasn't. So we did this without any outbound, without any kind of viral Instagram reels. We would post some reels, but it was not consistent, I'm not gonna lie, and it was not exactly the best and most fastest nurturing. Short form is just a little bit trickier to do versus like YouTube and having simple assets that people can walk through. So here is a big reveal of the exact DM script that our client would walk through. You want to see it? Are you ready? There was no script. There was no script, okay? This is what we did. It was a genuine conversation with him and people who would DM him or people that he would DM after he saw that they would engage with his posts. From there on, he would just have the same attitude exactly as his YouTube videos. It's nonchalant, which created a big pattern interrupt. So that meant sometimes he could just leave people on red because of the fact he was so busy, and that would give people like a bigger pattern interrupt. Right? Somebody was like, yo man, when can I book a call? Left on red. Imagine that, bro. Imagine you trying, like everybody in the space is trying to get you to book a call, but the person leaves you on red. You give a one-word response. Like somebody asks you, yo bro, how did you get this client this kind of result? Or how did you sign this client? And he says Riz, for example. Or he says something like this, just be him. Right? That's his word, right? And it's like, that's the truth. Just be him. What does that mean? It means show results on your story sequences. It means get more followers. If you have to pay for followers, it's $20 for like 1,000 followers. You know, present yourself as just being him. 48 laws of power. You can fake it until you make it till a certain extent. Anyways, this is what you can also do within your own process. So literally, it was just this. Then you just replicate the process again and again. The main thing you have to do now is make sure that when you're posting stories, you're just re-engaging people's attention and you're posting reels that can also make people continue to have you pop up on top of mind. That was it. Okay, now let's talk about the sales process. The founder was doing the manual appointment setting, remember? The founder was taking the sales calls. The founder was also making the YouTube videos, right? So the founder, of course, was involved heavily in this process, but he was involved on higher. He was just told to yap and text. That was all he had to do. And from that, he would book like over 10 calls a week and around 50 to 80% closing rate. Insane closing rate. You want to see the big reveal on the sales call? There was no script. There was no sales script. There was no pitch deck. There was maybe a bit of like a smaller pitch deck, but like majority of the times, he didn't even need the pitch deck. So there was a general flow that he would teach in his program that worked, right? A flow of the conversation, whether, the first thing you say in the call, the attitude you present in the call, the generic questions you present on the call, you identify the gap and you give them the solution. It was literally just that. It was very simple. So where's the logic here, right? Because of the steps we went through in 1, 2, 3, positioning, strategy, and the setting, he didn't need any kind of insane sales process. We rarely even had pre-call assets. We would maybe send them some YouTube videos as the pre-call assets in the DMs, but there was rarely any crazy process. So now, would I advise this? No, man, I would not advise this, okay? Because now he has pre-call assets. Now he has lead opt-ins. Now he has appointment setting. But what I want you to do is still take and emulate and replicate the success it was that managed for him to achieve this result here. So you need to apply the same thinking process to your entire sales process. Here's the do-it-yourself version. Ask yourself, what has worked in the past? Do an exercise where you find what's currently working now. Should you use a pitch deck? Yes, absolutely. How would you apply this to your own situation? Deeply understand your prospect, okay? You need to be the doctor who's giving them an analysis and a full checkup. You need to see the problems that you need to be. It shouldn't be, don't think of sales calls as you collecting money and them getting a problem solved. You're going to find so much tension. You're going to have so much like resistance. Whether you have a closer, make sure they understand this, or whether you're taking the sales call yourself, it's very likely you're taking them yourself. Understand this, please. It needs to be as if you're speaking with an employee of yours and they have a problem and you're genuinely trying to solve it so that you can make more money, or you're genuinely trying to solve it so that you can, surely at this point as an entrepreneur, you find it fun to solve problems. You need to like almost become a therapist. You need to listen to what they're saying and you need to be like, okay, wow, why did that happen? How are you doing this? Like you need to get all the information so that even when you do present a solution, which you do have, you're genuinely helping them and impacting them. When you do produce a solution, you're going to have the perfect customized solution for them and not give them something they don't want or don't need. You need to be able to be very flexible with your solutions, all right? So once you've seen all the problems and you're the person who's fully in charge of solving them, it's your duty as to whether you save this person's life or not. You're the doctor, remember? You're the mechanic. You're the plumber. You're the guy who's fixing the problem. Whether you let them die or not is up to you. AKA them not buying for you is death. So this is going to make you feel more confident. You're going to feel more comfortable. You're going to have all the answers. You're going to begin to flow on the spot because instead of hyper focusing on the sale, you're going to be focusing on the person, their problems, their pain. You're going to feel their pain. You're going to turn into an empath and your heart is going to be open. Your heart chakra is going to go boom and you're going to be like, whoa, I understand it now. That's going to be you, in other words, okay? So, instead you're listening and instead you're helping them solve the problem before they even pay you money, right? Because now people, aka your prospects on these calls, they're going to notice the different frequency that you're operating on and you're going to pull them up. The human system is like a tuning fork. If somebody else is oscillating in a higher frequency, you're going to get pulled up to that. That's why when you're around people who are smiling and laughing, you can't help but start smiling and laughing. When you're around somebody who's shouting and arguing at you, you can't stop feeling lower and lower and be like, yo, what the heck? Either I'm going to fight, I'm going to flight, I'm going to freeze and be like, what's going on, right? That is literal. This is not some manifestation nonsense. This is literally how it works. So if you're up here, you're chill, you're flowing, you're helping this person, they're going to get in their bag and they're going to make this proper logical and emotional decision when you actually take the pitch. So now the people you talk to are going to begin to sync with that same frequency. We all operate in a frequency. The way the world works is we have internal systems and we have external systems. Everything in the external world has been created by something and by someone's internal actions, their thoughts, beliefs, structures, cultures, traumas, whatever it is. Everybody projects that, and the reality we see externally is a delayed response of how we are internally. So if your internal is not locked in to the right vibration or the right vibe or the right mindset or paradigm, whatever word makes you agree with me, it's going to be very hard for you to get the other person to a place that you're not already there, right? Especially if what they see on the call is exactly what they see in social media, which is what got them to book the call in the first place. So when they saw my client on the call, they were like, yo, this guy is exactly as goofy as he is in these videos. This guy is exactly as silly and normal and nonchalant and chill and value-based as he is in these videos. All right? So yeah, that's your big reveal on sales. Please, I think I dropped a lot of value there. Go ahead and execute on that. Now let's talk about the IG strat, which is specifically story sequences. So, of course, client and his business, they were the ones who were managing the story sequences, right? Him and his internal team. But I'll give you a templarized identical sequence that we use on stories and emails that we actually use in our own business right now, or our own clients we work with. So he would get a lot of reach from his IG stories and a lot of interactions. What does this mean? The way he did this was he followed the same vibe and the same feel of his YouTube. He would just maybe post him, of course, the generic like lifestyle and stuff, and of course, client results that he had. But he was also himself. So like, let's say for my IG, if you go on my IG, there's a chance you're going to see me on a story that I posted just yapping or just laughing or just enjoying life. It's the same vibe. That's how I am in person. That's how I always am. I'm very serious at times, but at other times I'm flowing. I'm light. I'm air. I'm an air sign. Whatever. He also showed authenticity and he showed results 24/7. So he was vulnerable sometimes. He would showcase what he's actually going through. He would vent sometimes on YouTube videos and just post it on his story. And now he would also be able to funnel small amounts of traffic to YouTube. So this showed results and, of course, lifestyle. He genuinely liked traveling. He genuinely liked living this kind of lifestyle. So now, if you trickle this down into the effectiveness of the appointment setting, you're going to have this dialed with, all of this YouTube stuff dialed with this DM process. Therefore, when people book on the sales calls, they know you, they're in your ecosystem, you're in their mind 24/7. So here's the basics of story sequences. I'm actually not going to give you like a launch sequence or like a sequence post because it's very simple. All you ever need to do in like a launch sequence is really just go like this, right? You just have make person aware of thing that is going to be launched. Right? So if I haven't made it clear, let me just give you like a rough, let me simplify launch story sequence. So this is like, let's say if you're going to launch something for your community, let's say if you're going to launch a new offer, let's say if you're going to launch a webinar, etc. You first have your first post, which is pretty much hype plus awareness. You want to make the people aware of what's going to be happening. Next thing is lifestyle, right? You never want to do too many CTAs, too many promos. You need people to it needs to feel casual. Lifestyle, all right? So this is like days. These numbers here are the days in which you make these posts. So this is day 1, all right? Day 2, day 3, day 3, results. So you can do lifestyle and results, right? But you can do results. And then you can do like almost like Q&A for a post plus more hype. Show people opting in for the hype. Show, yo, we're about to sell out, even if you're not even about to sell out, okay? And then now, check it out. Day 5, more results, maybe. And then you can do like day 6, launch, okay? Which is the same thing it is that you do here, which is like a specific kind of writing that you have. Like you're going to pretty much have this thing called as like a power offer. Anyways, let me not even jump into power offers. I don't need to go this deep, but pretty much you're going to just have like a main offer that you're saying, hey, I'm about to launch and do something crazy in the next, I'm about to launch and do something crazy that we've been working on for the past 6 months, blah, 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 blah. It's going to be the thing it is that we've helped get these people results. Boom. You can also maybe CTA a bit of the thing that they're going to be able to sign up for, right? You can just say, hey, DM me if you want to see what's going on, if you want more info on this, right? You don't want people to leave Instagram, because when people leave Instagram, your posts are going to be less shown to people because Instagram does not like people going off of their platform. Then you have lifestyle. You have a day where you talk about more results as to the thing it is you're about to launch, and then the thing it is that you're going to post. So like, let's say for this person, if he's to launch a low ticket community, he would do this and go through this process. For 6 days, he would post every single day or every other day sometimes. You want to do like every 24 hours, he would make one of these posts. He'd go through number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. And then he would go number 6, he would give the people, the school community, in the DMs so that they don't leave the platform from his story. So how do you make general story sequences work? Just general posts that you have in your story. You just need to be able to show results, show your lifestyle, and don't do much CTAing. Don't do too much CTAing. Okay, so what can you CTA? You can CTA YouTube videos. You can CTA offers. You can CTA to your DMs. You can CTA to lead magnets, and sometimes you can CTA to reels. If you mix it up like this, it's going to be really, really well, right? But if you just mix it up where you have only offers and it's like every day you're saying, hey, this client just made this amount of money, opt in right now. Next day, this client just made this money, opt in right now, right? Even if you have some results to show at the start of your sequence, it's going to help it a lot more. But you want to be able to have some off days where you're just chilling and you're showing lifestyle, and you're showing results, and of course you're showing value. So this is going to make people feel like you're just always making your customers money. People think that what you show on social media is your entire life, right? Or whatever their goal is. Let's say you run like a looks maxing program where you help people look fine AF. You're going to show your people who look fine AF in your DM or in your in your stories, right? Any of your clients who you help look smacks and help them look attractive, you pretty much put that there. Then you want to show your lifestyle. If you don't have a crazy lifestyle, just show what it is that you're doing. If you're working all the time, good. Show yourself working all the time. This is going to help people, like, nurture and convert people a lot more. And now CTAs that take people off the platform are going to make the story perform poorly, because IG doesn't want people leaving their site. I mentioned this, so it's very important. Now, the only thing that is much more to this is simply having launch story sequences, like community launch story sequences or email launch story sequences, like the one I showed here, right? If you want to see a full breakdown on this process here, how you can launch like an offer and etc., whatever it is, just comment whatever it is that you want me to make, and literally by tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and finish that training, and the next day you're going to probably see it on YouTube, and I'll just respond to your comment with the link to that YouTube video, and you can just get little problem solved to you by somebody who's really good at this. However, click the link in the description if you just want. This feels weird. I feels weird me just telling people to do this, but we have multiple CTAs in our clients' videos, so it's only right that I do the same. So like I said, bro, the training that's in the description covers all of this. You don't have to, you could click the CTA right now, or you can click the later, you can click the link in the description right now, or you can click it later in the video. But like I said, there's a free 1-hour masterclass that's going to teach you how to build this exact system, if not a better system than this, way better system than this, solving every 9 problems that you have and every gap it is that you need to solve, right? It's going to have everything all in one, and it's going to teach you how to solve it alongside what makes my company solve it 10 times better than anybody else, specifically because we give you the assets, then we help you on a specified launch to make you a bunch of money very quick, and then we're out of your hair, out of your business. You have all the talent, you have the designers, you have the editors, you have everything in your business. You don't need us. You have your setters, you're Gucci. That's funny. Gucci. Anyways, now we can get to the foundation. So please don't do any of steps 1 to 3 until you've done this one and until you've done this one. There's a reason as to why I did not actually go through this at the start of the video, because I wanted you to just get value immediately. Maybe I'll put this at the start of the video. Who knows, right? So now here is the funnel, or lack thereof. I said it was YouTube to Calendly and IG to Calendly to sales call. Rarely pre-call assets needed. Where is this going to be beneficial to you? Does this mean that you now remove your funnel, or does this mean you now make your landing page obsolete? Nah, this just means that simplify it, make it more clear and precise so that people can follow it easily. Assess, right, as to whether everything you are doing is really needed. But this was also considered intentional, because people are going to see that, wow, he's really not a guru. Wow, he really doesn't even care. He doesn't even need sales. This is so cool. This person is like me. He's like a meme. This guy is funny. I want to talk to him, right? Greatly reduces friction. And people had to watch more of his sales assets on YouTube to learn what he was doing, instead of having to look into his funnel, get exactly what he's doing, know what he's doing, and then know as to whether they want to buy or not. That seems like it makes it more frictionless, but this is so much more frictionless, because majority of people, even people who have in the B2B space or bigger offers, there's still a lot of consumer mindset, because people go onto YouTube to consume, not to buy. So they wouldn't see any like funnel. They would just see a Calendly, and it would be something like, yo, let's chat together, right? Or let's run it up in the chat. Let's run it up on a call. And that's the only CTA that you would have. So it can be considered intentional. It's just so much more frictionless. And the less friction your sales have, the more money you'll be able to collect easily. Right now, however, they have opt-in funnels. They have VSL funnels. I think sometimes they even have challenge funnels inside of the school, or maybe even just general challenge funnels. And they also have a low ticket school community funnel, which is a free funnel. So, however, nonetheless, there's still people now who make over $100,000 every single month with the exact same funnel it is that we leverage here. For example, Nick's setting. You can see in all of his YouTube videos just linked to other YouTube videos. He doesn't use it VSL at all anymore. You can literally just see this. It's either his IG, where his appointment setter will reach out to him, or it's more results. And this is how it is for every single YouTube video. You could go to the oldest YouTube video and you're going to find it there. 2 years ago, he had to go and he had to get one of his growth consultants, etc., to go ahead and make this change, which is to change this video so that they get the biggest case study that they have, and then boom, they get sent here, which is boom, CTA, and then directly to Calendly and more case studies. So it's just more assets to nurture the prospect. Same thing with Alexi. This is another person who's recently started finding more success on YouTube. Niche creator. These are creators that you want to be able to kind of watch, who are smaller, but they're still doing a certain few amount of things right. So this is a funnel as well that my friend Muhi is also pretty much originated and came up with. So the way this looks is your only CTA links to a Calendly with a little video that's like 60 seconds long, explaining what it is that they're going to be getting access to. So it's so seamless, right? So for you, what I'd advise is test these out, make it more simple, make your CTAs really clean, like one sentence max, have it like that, and just have all of your videos move like this, okay? Let's build you a funnel right now. So you have YouTube videos. Let's say person comes and this is the first video that they see. This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna do this. Your next video, excuse you, bro. Your next video is gonna go to main nurturing asset. Very important. Not a VSL posted on YouTube. People do this and because they saw Iman Ghazi do this once and they think it's like the best thing in the world. It's not. I tried it with Search Guitar, it didn't work. Don't do it. This is now the second video. So this is now pretty much what is CTA'd. All right. So CTA this is your first CTA. Next CTA can be IG, or your next CTA is Calendly. So all of these are individual CTAs inside of one description, right? So one YouTube video, this is the description inside. So one video is going to CTA to IG, and one video is going to CTA to your main nurturing asset. This is going to be your CTA number 1. This is going to be CTA number 2. And this is going to be CTA number 3. So Calendly or VSL, right? Or low key, what you could do is you could actually just not have any of these, and then on your YouTube page, not in the YouTube video, but on your YouTube page, you have the links to everything it is that you have, right? Which somebody, nonetheless, they're always going to be able to run into. So from here, let's say now you're in the main nurturing sales asset. So let's say this is now video number 2 that they're watching, right? So this is the first video that they watch. Now they've clicked on this video. Now they watch your main video, which this is the same process that will carry on out for every other video of yours. So it's going to be very likely that they end up on this video, which is the main goal. And this video right here, what we did for Search Guitar, it was a heavy nurturing sales asset video, which is like a course, free course, 12-hour course that he made for free that people just get to go through. All right. For example, for this client, what we used was this video here, something that generated more than $30,000, which was what? A free course. All right. And so that was what was shown on it needs to be shown as your channel intro, and it needs to be linked inside of every other YouTube video. So now let's say people are now on this video. Where do you CTA here to? This is what you do. All right. You do this. This one is now going to CTA directly to a Calendly. So this one, you rarely want to do it directly to Calendly. You can just have it be directly to a VSL, but I'd advise not to, because this looks a lot more appealing to somebody who's just found you on YouTube, doesn't it? For example, mine, I have the excuse as to why my description has like kind of like a VSL, because mine is a masterclass. I'm giving people value. I need to present it as people seeing that it's gotten value. If not, this video right here, very likely that this is the main nurturing asset that I'm going to use throughout my next 30 to 60 days. Meaning you've probably been redirected here from another YouTube video it is that you've seen, or maybe this is the first video it is that you've seen of me and it popped off and we managed to get some easy traffic. This thing will just send you straight to a Calendly only, and I don't even want it to go to IG. Maybe IG and maybe Calendly, but I just want it to go to Calendly. So like this. The main thing is it's going to be different for each person. You just want to test and don't deep it too much. Test and don't go too deep into the process, and just keep it logical. So that means person comes across a YouTube video. In there, they find another YouTube video, which is like, oh, that's nice. And then they find your IG, right? So let's just pretend in this option of the funnel option number 1, it's just these options, right? This is all you got. And then let's say they click the next YouTube video. In that description, the next CTAs are just IG and Calendly. Or if you want to really be that guy, just Calendly, all right? So that's an example winning funnel for you. Very simple. Just find out what works for you and don't overthink it. The main thing is you just want to be able to capture somebody's lead. That's why VSL is good, and you want to be able to nurture them. That's why this is good. That's why for me, I have both a VSL that is mixed with my best nurturing asset, and therefore I get to collect the lead, and therefore I get to get you to opt in. Therefore I get to maybe even manually reach out to you, and then I also get to track specific leads. But this is why people who run free communities work really, really well, because guess what's going to happen? Guess what happens when you combine all of those 3 together? You get a school community. So that's why school is so powerful, is because you literally get your nurturing asset inside of there, which is your courses. You get the IG in there, which is the fact you get to DM these people. And then this VSL, you also get like a mini VSL on top of that. And so you're able to reach out to this person. You get the benefit of an opt-in VSL, which means you collect their email and their phone number, and you get them to go through your assets, which will nurture them even more. That's why if you just have a school, from there on, your next funnel goes to direct response VSL. So now these can be your only funnels, right? So now this is how your funnel can work. We're doing a whole funnel masterclass. So you got top of funnel right here. Boom. Everybody's going to jump into here. It's going to be a bit of a pain to set up, but it's going to be fine, right? Or what you can even do is you can even go beyond this. is you can just go like this. Sauce leads. Sauce leads, I don't know. I'm a marketer, so I just come up with mechanisms left, right, center. Like this, right? In other words, the first and only link it is you have in your description is this. Your actual main nurturing asset. So let's just have course, right? So like this. This will funnel into this, your school. So somebody is going to find you on YouTube like this, and your only link in description is going to lead to another YouTube video. And that YouTube video is only going to have a school link. And in your school, or rather a school link and a direct response VSL that has no opt-in, just sales. So what this does is this thing nurtures people a bunch. This things get people more incentivized, and this thing brings in traffic. You get me? So now people are going to stay in here for a lot longer than you actually think in this process here. This is typically what your now new sales process is going to look like, right? This is now new sales ecosystem / process. For example, this is what our client ended up gaining by having this funnel, because now people would not jump to this identically. They wouldn't jump to this like instantaneously. They would do this. Look at this. From one YouTube video, they would go watch another YouTube video, another YouTube video, another YouTube video, which is called massive conversions. When you find somebody in their sales system and they have a strategy like this, and they have positioning like this, and all your only option is to do is to watch entertaining videos of them again and again and again and again and again. This is fast nurturing and fast conversions. That's this right here. YouTube video, another YouTube video, another YouTube video, another YouTube video. Okay, cool. I want to jump in, and maybe I'm qualified enough to see what his actual, let's just say low ticket school. Let's just have this at like $20 a week. You want to actually have it a little bit higher depending on how qualified you want your people to come through. Or you have it go straight to your VSL. This is actually what this looks like. So you've got 2 links in the description of your main asset, where every bit of traffic on YouTube or your YouTube video will be directed to this main asset. And in the description of this main asset, it'll lead you to a school, or it'll lead you to a direct response. Both. This will be the first link in the description. This will be the second link in the description. And all your entire job is to give people more awareness, more insights, more offers towards your first 2 main objectives in your strategy. I hope that's not too complex for you, my friend. But like I said, if you just don't want to do all of this stuff yourself, just go watch the free training in the description. You're going to enjoy it. Now, lastly is your production management system. This is a tool. It won't execute for you, but it's going to save you a $3,000 course from some guy on Instagram who's talking about going viral and promising that whatever magic content calendar that he's selling you in his little school course and winning hooks that he's going to be able to help you script is going to get you the same results. It's not, right? So here's what this thing looks like. It's a content system that's on ClickUp. You can use Notion. You can use ClickUp. Let's keep this 0 BS. It's just going to help you streamline people, managing projects, managing deadlines, managing tasks. So it just kept ideas, packaging concepts, editing refinements, and everything. Think about everything for your content apart from an idea and research in one place. That's what this is. So let me show you how you can make this right now. Let me build it for you live. So your first thing is your ideation. Your second thing is you're going to have a section for your packaging, which is just titles, thumbnails. Anything that's in here is going to have a title and thumbnail. Inside of each of these videos, you're going to have a section for context of the video. So let's say maybe you came up with it or you want your team to come up with it, etc. You're going to have the first section, which is context for the video, optional titles and thumbnails. Okay. And then you're going to have hooks / your entire script. And then you're going to have editing guideline, context for the video. You can also just have like reference inspo, so inspiration, stuff it is that you felt inspired to actually create this video from, why it's being made, the idea behind it as to why it will make people money, and then objective. Why are we making this video? Oh, because, like, for example, why am I making the case study video? We need trust. We need people to see this. It's a case study video. It's one of our non-negotiables whenever we make content. So inside of each card, like this, each of these different things here, I'm blurring out the names here. But let me actually even just remove this and I'll blur it on. Nah, I'm actually not going to do that. Fuck that. Cut that out, bro. We're not doing that. Screw that. So each thing here, what I'm doing right now is I've blurred out the names. But the way you can think about it is like this. Each little square here, as you can see here on ClickUp, is its own video card. Now let's just stop being silly and let me just open up my own ClickUp system that I use on a daily basis whenever I'm making content. This is what I mean by that, right? You pretty much have your ideas, your green light section, your title, your thumbnail, and inside of your YouTube video, you will have all of the info that's inside of the YouTube video that I've laid out here. So inside of your YouTube video, inside of each individual card that you see here as an individual YouTube video that can be made, that's going to contain this that's inside of it, inside of each individual card. So I hope that makes sense. Packaging, titles, and thumbnails. Your next thing is script. This is pretty much a flow for you to be able to follow on whatever system you make. So you can literally now go ahead, Google ClickUp, make an account for free, make your entire process like this. It takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes, right? You can even make it from scratch together. Maybe that'll actually even be better. Let's just do that, right? So let's just say I'm going to make one from scratch. I'm going to click on list. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to say example. I'm going to make it private, and then I'm just going to press create. So now what do we have? We have a full-blown list here. We're going to go here. We're going to click delete like this. It's not going to allow you because it's annoying because it's ClickUp. You're going to go here, clipboard. You're going to click pin. So it's going to be the first thing that opens whenever you go onto it. And then you're going to name it production pipeline. All right. From there on, you're going to name this first one. Rename. You're going to name this one ideas. So all of your ideas are going to go in there, right? You understand the process? You're going to name another section. Bro, what's wrong with you? Okay, here we go. So, ideas. The next section is title and thumbnail. The next section is script. Save. Your next section is ready to record. So whatever you need to be ready to record is going to be in there. Next section is ready to record, and then it's like ready to edit. So everything that you need your editors to work on should be in there. Same thing for short form. All right. Ready to review. Everything from your editor, if it needs a review, will go in here. And then ready to post. Everything that is scheduled and ready to go up is there. And then posted is here. And now you can go really, really granular in the sense that you can now go low performance, where every week, everything that has a low performance will go in this section. And then you can have high performance. So you can always see the videos that performed well. And literally from there on, you click apply changes. And now you have a system that somebody could have charged you $3,000 on school for. There you go. All right, and that's your system. From there on, you just use that. Okay, so I built film for you live. I'm happy for you. Next thing is, how do you use this thing with your team, with your talent? Like, what kind of talent is that you need? We don't need to go through that. So now, how do you use this tool? How do you work with your team? And how do you execute on everything I've gone through? What you're going to do is, after you have completed step 1, which is your production management system, after you've completed your funnel, you have everything in place. Never create content or post without some kind of funnel here, but also never let this be a bottleneck for you. After you have that, you've got your positioning ready, you've got your strategy ready, then this is what you're going to do. At the start of every week, you're going to have a meeting with your team where they're going to either present the ideas or the strategy, and then you're going to present the idea and the strategy, and you're going to align as to what needs to be done that week. As you go through what your sellers need to do that week, as you go through what your client success team needs to go that week, as you go through what everything it is that you need to do that week, you go through specifically what you need to record, and you will hold yourself accountable as that being your biggest and highest priority task. And that's what you'll start off with that in your team meeting, and you go through that. From there on throughout the week, you're going to either complete the doc or somebody else is going to complete the document for you, or you can complete the document in the same video it is, or the same day it is you're going to record your video. So, the way we did this was a lot of market research, fulfillment immersion, knowing what it is that we did for our client, etc. This is how we did it as well, right? So we'd have startup week calls with our client, which is the strategy section. Every week starts off with this. And what's going to be interesting is going to be based upon what you do at the end of the week. So from there on, I would go ahead and I'd make the assets and the client would record. So for you, ideally, you're going to be focusing on these two things. Your team is going to be able to help on this, and your team is going to be able to help on this. But you need to focus on asset creation, recording, and also it's going to be strategy. So you can just pretend that you're going to actually do all of this yourself, and you can do all of this yourself if you're one function in your role of your business. Let's say you have an appointment setter, you already have a closer, you already have some decent case studies, and you're not doing too much of fulfillment, or maybe you are doing fulfillment still and you're involved in that process. Good. Your only thing you do now every day is content creation. It's going through this. This is your role. You're a content leader in your own company, the same way you have a client leader, or maybe you have a client success manager, or maybe you have somebody who talks to your clients for you like we do. Whatever that is, you have that here. Next thing is, record your video, then you post it with a one-of-one packaging. And then you write 2 steps on Twitter or any other platform to be able to funnel the traffic right back onto your YouTube video. Does this make sense? So remember how we talked about the IGCTAs? You post this on IG, you post this on X. All right, and then that gets people to come back here. So now what you're going to do over the weekend is you're going to need to now collect data from what you've done throughout the week, which the market has also been providing, like review all of the data that you have, make a decision as to whether you need to pivot, whether you need to change based on your performance. And you can actually do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Review your leads, review your views, review your conversations that your prospects and your teams are having, right? With your social media accounts, so like your appointment setting, etc. And then you review how many sales calls have actually come and what kind of response the market and your prospects have had according to the content you've made. And then next week is you create ideas based off of what changes you need to make on this data. Maybe your VSL isn't performing well. What does that mean? ASAP, Monday, highest priority is re-recording your VSL or doing this on Saturday. But this means that now you're going to come back and boom, you're going to kill it on Monday. And preferably you want to do this like 2 weeks in advance. So you want to have like 2 weeks worth of videos that you're going to ideate and analyze with your team to be like, yo, which ones are the most highest likely to perform for us to do for the next 2 weeks? Okay, cool. We're going to start with video number 1, video number 2, video number 5, video number 6. So to simplify this for you, right after you watch this video, right, this is what you're going to do. Make the system on ClickUp because it's the first thing that's going to tangibly show that you have something in your life that is like relatable to actually taking action. You're going to have this. And then you're going to like write out or have like a simple Lucid chart like this with the exact kind of funnel, like the exact kind of Lucid chart I have here. And do your funnel if you don't already have one or made tweaks to one. And then I want you to then go ahead and do step 1. You then go ahead and you do step 2. You then go ahead and you review step 3. All right. So like I said, bro, if you just want more free sauce, give me your email and your phone number after you click the link in the description, and you're going to get access to a full-blown $1.8 million a year automated system. What we have as our guarantee in a company is that this system is going to be able to guaranteeably generate $30,000 to $50,000 every single month in high-ticket info sales